All right, so Kerry Coombs is back. He actually raised his arms to Gene Smith, was in the back of the room on National Signing Day, and Kerry Coombs at the podium raised his arms and said, "I'm back." He was like, "Gene, I'm back." I have been privy to the Kerry Coombs experience previously. You two have not. So now that Kerry Coombs was officially introduced as Ohio State's new defensive coordinator and spoke to reporters on National Signing Day, I'm curious what you guys think. Steven, what'd you think of Kerry Coombs?
I want to play football for him. In all seriousness, he lived up to like everything people had already told you about, how enthusiastic he can be to the raising his arm. He did it out here too. Once again, it was "I'm back, baby" and all that stuff. Like, he lives up to a lot of the hype. And like the main point is the fact that he's recruited a lot of the guys who were on this roster, even in the 2020 class. He's the guy who offered Legend Cavazos 4 years ago when he originally got the offer. So like, there's already a familiarity with all that. So it's not like he's coming in here with this enthusiasm the guys aren't already used to it. So it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of handles like everybody outside of Shaun Wade in that defensive back room. But yeah, that enthusiasm lived up to the hype.
He is the defensive coordinator. Greg Madison is the but there is no doubt that Kerry Coombs is in charge of this defense. And Ryan Day, everybody always talks about collaboration, but Ryan Day made it very clear when they come out of that defensive room, Kerry Coombs in the end has the final say and is in charge. What did you think of Kerry Coombs?
It was interesting. He was asked, "Are you going to be down on the field or are you going to be up in the box?" Because last year Jeff Hafley was up in the box, and someone was like, "It's going to be hard to imagine you being down on the field." And I can understand why. Again, just being around him for a few minutes for the first time, you get some of that infectiousness. I think what was impressive.
So what did he say? Where's he going to be?
He'll be down on the field.
That makes sense. Madison in the box. Yes. Coombs, he'd kick the glass out in the box.
Yeah, that's what. Sorry, I left that out. But yeah, he plans to be at least. I don't think he made a final decision, but he expects to be down on the field. And one of the things that impressed me about him was, he talks about, someone like Shaun Wade brings up the point really quickly. Hey, it's great that he's coming back, but he's not going to just go be a first-round pick because he's coming back. He's got to go get better. Let's go get to work. He's talking about the guys he asked, Amir Reep and Seven Banks and those other guys who are kind of the holdovers, guys he already knows. He's comparing those. He thinks that those guys compare to some of the other really good defensive backs he's had here in the past, but now he's got to go prove it. Now he's got to go make them better. I think he has a real strong sense of the challenge that's ahead of this secondary, of this whole defense, but the secondary in particular, and how much work he has ahead of him between now and August.
So here's the thing with Kerry Coombs and all the stuff like that he talked about on National Signing Day. That's what he has been here. He's an enthusiastic, smart, excellent, personable recruiter. No doubt about that. He can develop defensive backs. He can teach them technique and get them ready to play well at Ohio State and go to the NFL. That's what he was here. It's just like the way he talked about Ohio State, I was like, why did you leave? Like, you were perfect for this place. This place was perfect for you. And he was talking about he just went because he and Mike Vrabel were good friends from coaching here at Ohio State together. And Mike Vrabel said, come coach for me with the Titans. And they had talked in the past, hey, when I'm a head coach, I'll hire you. And so he left. The shocking thing, of course he's here now. Of course he's back. It's like, I can't believe he ever left. But the thing is, he's back as something he's never been before. And he's back as a defensive coordinator. So all the Kerry Coombs-ness of that Kerry Coombs thing, that is not in doubt. What's interesting about it is, I think in a lot of ways, he's like a guy like Larry Johnson, who is unrivaled as a recruiter and the way he goes about it, and is unrivaled as a position coach in developing guys, developing relationships, and sending them on to the NFL. Larry Johnson's not a coordinator. Larry Johnson went from Penn State to Ohio State, but he never went somewhere else. And so I tried to ask Kerry Coombs, do you think you had to leave in order to get this chance to be a coordinator? And he was like, I just live day to day. I'm not thinking about that. I think maybe he did. I think maybe that's the difference here, that I think he might have ended up pigeonholed here at Ohio State as that crazy guy who yells, who's great at recruiting and develops defensive backs. But how do you become more than that? You become more than that by leaving, realizing how much you miss Ohio State, and Ohio State realizing how much they miss you. Ryan Day left, no doubt. The minute Jeff Hafley left, Kerry Coombs was the guy he wanted. Not to be the cornerbacks coach, to be the defensive coordinator. That is a big stinking deal, and he's never done that. He wasn't a coordinator in the NFL. So that's an interesting thing to watch here. I don't have doubts about Kerry Coombs, but he's never done that, right? Jeff Hafley also had never done it before he got here, but that's the next step, and I do think it's interesting. it feels right that Kerry Coombs is back, but we can't lose sight of the fact that he's back in a new role, and even more important to Ohio State with like double the salary or more than double the salary than when he left. I think maybe he had to leave for them to appreciate what they had a little bit and get him back here. But him being back feels right, man. I can't believe he ever left. I was shocked when he left. The story that he told about like him and Vrabel kind of joking with each other about hiring each other one day maybe gave a little insight into that. I still was shocked that he ever left. Steven, Nathan, Doug, thanks for watching at cleveland.com.